Hey everyone, today's topic is placement controls in Final Cut Pro. Many material layers include graphic images that are applied to the 3D title, for example, the pattern of fabric or the wrinkles of a distressed layer. In the material section of Text Inspector, the controls for each of these layers include a set of placement controls you can use to define the way image is mapped into the text object. If you want to apply placement settings to more than one layer at once, you can designate the placement for those layers as shared. In this case, shared placement controls appear in the material section of Text Inspector and replace the placement controls for the individual layers. Let's understand independent placement controls. These controls appear in each material layer that includes a texture that is applied to the 3D title. So I'm going to show you guys. First of all, I'm going to go right over here. So for now, I have substance set as fabric, and then you guys are going to see a placement right over here. I'm going to click on this triangle and you guys are going to see these options. So let's understand what are these options. So the first option is placement. Here we're going to have a pop-up menu to choose whether mapping of the image is independent, meaning that the controls below affect the placement of the image, or shared with the other image being placed on the selected 3D title. And the second one, if I click right over here, is shared. So when a placement is set to shared, the rest of the placement parameters in material layers are hidden because the layer is now controlled by shared placement settings and option settings. So for now, I'm going to select independent, and the next we have place on. So if I click over here, you're going to see a pop-up with two objects. So basically it tells me to apply the image or texture once to entire object or individually in each letter, which we call glyph. So if I click right over here, it's going to select all object. If I click on this one, it's going to only select one letter. You guys can see it's changed, and also we can see the thumbnail will be updated. So next is side placement. So here we're going to have a pop-up menu to choose how the mapped image or texture is applied to the sides of the text object. So you have three options. First is normal. So here the image or texture is mapped onto the front and the side of the text object in the same directions. So you guys can see. Now if I use turn 90, so here the image or texture is mapped onto the front of the text object. The same image is mapped on the side of a text object but is rotated 90 degrees. And you guys, as soon as I select, you guys can see the changes are being affected right away. And the last one is stretch from the edge. So here the image or texture is mapped onto the front of the text object, onto the sides. The pixel on the edge are repeated, so the pattern appears to be stretched over the side of the text object. So if I do that, you guys can see the changes. And the next option we have position. So here the value slider is set to the location where the image or texture is mapped onto the object. So here, if for example, if I write 100, let me do like this, 100, and hit enter, you guys can see it has been changed. On x-axis, same you guys can do for the y-axis. Now we have scale. Let me make it 0 again. Okay, so now we have scale. So here a slider will be there to adjust the magnification, meaning zoom level of the image or texture being mapped. Click the disclosure triangle to reveal separate X and Y scale sliders and the scale with font size checkbox. So I'm going to do that. You guys can see, you can play around. You can make it left, or you guys can make it right based on your requirement. You can select this, whatever you feel like. And now last is rotation. So here a dial to rotate the mapped image or texture around Z-axis. Click the disclosure triangle to reveal separate dials for rotating around X, Y, and Z-axis. So over here, you guys can see I can do it like this. I can, based on my requirement. And the last we have animate. So here you can either use the rotation or orientation. If you guys have any questions, please comment below and I'm gonna respond to that. Also stay tuned for more videos on Final Cut Pro. Thank you.